just come outside. Whoa, that is a very wonky bathing slab. Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. It's not very nice weather today. It's so windy. I'm in the polytunnel because it's freezing outside, but I did just do a little walk around and noticed there are so many weeds. So this week the weeds have ramped up tenfold. So what I was going to do is sow some lovely seeds in here and stay warm, but I realised I'm probably going to have to do some weeding because, like I've said before, if you don't keep on top of the weeds, they just get out of control. You can probably hear the polytunnel creaking and blowing around in the background. It's not good. I'm just going to show you how bad the weeds have gotten in the polytunnel, because last time and the time before I said I really need to weed it because they're starting to come through, and I didn't, obviously, and now they are mental. So I've got loads more of these tree spinach coming up, but now can you see how amazing they are? Look at the pink. Honestly, it's pink glitter. It's like this dusty pink glitter, like what the actual hell. But yeah, they're everywhere in here. I'm going to transplant them outside, somewhere else, not in here. And I need to be super careful to not let them go to seed again. Obviously the thistles find their way in. But yeah, this won't take very long. This will just be a little quick hoe over and we are done. But I really need to get some stuff in the ground, otherwise it's just going to keep happening week by week. So yeah, I have brought some stuff up with me today. I've been growing at home. I'll show you what I've got. So I've been growing some sweet peas. They're a little bit tangled. You're supposed to, oh, that's not part of it. You're supposed to, can't remember the technical term. What is it called? That's completely gone out of my head. Pinch them out, which just involves cutting the tops off, and then they are supposed to bush out, but can I be bothered to do that? No. I've got some peas, really slow. Everything is really slow to grow. They've just been outside in my garden, not inside any cold frames or anything. And I've got some purple beans, also really slow to grow. But I thought if I bring them in the polytunnel, get a bit of heat, might do them some good. And there's a couple of little flowers which I got from a gardening event I went to. I just potted those on and I'm going to put those in the wildlife patch. I'm also going to prick out my zinnia and my broccoli. Still waiting for these. Nasturtiums just started to come up. And these are looking really good too. Right, let's get some weeding done. But remember I showed you this before? Well, I found my bigger one, so you see the size difference. This one's good for bigger areas, so I'm going to use this one today to kill some time. tunnel. We'll show you what I've done. I've gotten rid of all of the weeds and kept a few of the tree spinach. Just need to tackle this one, which is growing in between my paving slabs. Right, I'm just going to prick out some of my green sprouting broccoli, which is what I sowed a few weeks ago, into its own module tray. So this is a bit dry. I've left it a bit long before I watered, but it should be easy enough to get them out. Quite a few. So windy. So the idea is with pricking out is that you choose best, most healthiest looking seedlings. But I'm just going to plant them all because I feel bad for them. I mean, if there were some that were just tiny and not growing, I would not bother. But they all look pretty good and they all look pretty similar. So I'm just going to plant them all. You see it's got a really good root on it. So that's a good sign. I'm actually really happy. Look how good the roots are. See, in comparison, not as good. So maybe we would discard that one. And again, that one's a bit small. Take a nice strong one. I'm just going to fill more. So they're all pricked out. I think there's maybe like 1 or 2 left. I'm just gonna discard. That is enough sprouting broccoli. So can we talk a little bit about using gardening for your mental health? I love sowing seeds and potting on because I just find it really calming. It makes my mind relax. And also, did you know that having contact with soil actually releases serotonin in your brain? Even more reason to do it. Just come outside. Whoa, that is a very wonky paving slab. Just come outside to get some fresh air because it's quite warm in the polytunnel. And my onions are sprouting very well. There's a few weeds in and amongst, but they are coming up. Potatoes look like the desert, definitely need a water. A few weeds coming through, really could do with doing some direct sowing actually. And I don't know where this has come from, but I've got some kind of cucumber or squash random seedlings here. So I'm just going to leave those. I've obviously just thrown some compost, some old compost, and then they've germinated, of course. So we'll see what they turn into. I've just found another one. How random! So random. Loads more tiny seedlings, which are very likely to be more nigella, which is fine. I like nigella and it is a really beautiful companion plant. It does look pretty too. So nigella can stay. I'm going to pot on the zinnias into their own little modules, and I need to sow some more vegetables because I haven't got enough. I need to get some herbs sown as well for my herb bed. So these are the zinnias and they are just going to go into this. I'm going to put 2 in each and hopefully that will fit them all.
Golden sunlight warms my face, chasing shadows in this place. The ground hums soft beneath my feet.
Just noticed a couple of these have been munched. So we have a resident slug or snail in here somewhere. Also, the roots.
Dancing through the sway of trees. Feel the strum of what's to come. Joyful beats on life's own drum.
So what we won't be doing is planting the ones that have been munched, like that one, because that is going to be no good.
The flowers nod, wink, hello.
Beautiful roots though. Again, another munched one.
A secret rhythm we all know. The clouds above just float and drift. Every second feels a gift. Steps in time with the earth below, where we're
That one's still got a seed on it, so I probably should have left it, but we didn't.
every note a sparkling sign. Oh, life's a tune in every breeze.
Cannot wait for these zinnias. I love zinnias. I might have some of them here and some of them at home in my garden. I probably will introduce you to my garden at some point once I've got this under control, because it's a very different vibe. We've got a pergola with beautiful flowers trailing over and a giant banana, and it's a little bit tropical but it's also a little bit rustic. So yeah, it's quite different from here, kind of. But anyway, it's lovely. It's just a different vibe.
while laughter's echoes light the air. I find my song just waiting there.
Right, that's one set. I've still got more. So these are sort of my reject zinnias. These are the ones that have only just started coming through, so I'm probably could have left them in there a bit longer, or they've had a bit of a munch. So that one definitely has to have a bit of a munch. I'm going to keep that one. So yeah, these are going to need a little bit longer, but I picked out the best ones in the other tray, and this is sort of like, we'll see if these make it or not. We will see. So I've had some issues with getting my seeds to germinate. I don't know if it's because of the compost that I use to do it, but I've only got maybe 2 cucumbers and 1 or 2 courgettes, but I think I'm going to have another go, just so I've got some backup. I thought I'd do them up here and see if I can have more luck, really. So squash and cucumber, that type of plant, which is a cucurbit, I think that's how you say it, the seeds are quite big, so you can plant them straight into a pot like that, because once they start growing they will almost fill the pot anyway. Yuck, spider's web. So I'm just going to sow them straight into these little pots, which I got from Sainsbury's actually, maybe last year. I think they were £1.50 for like 10 or something like that. It was really good, and they're good sturdy plastic, none of this flimsy garbage. They should just last me forever. So I'm going to sow them into those. So April is also a really good time to sow them. You can sow them earlier, which is what I've done, but they just need to be inside for much longer because they are very, very tender. If you put them outside and it's too cold, they will literally just die on you. Frost will kill them. I've done it before, and yeah, but a couple of mine are outside in the cold frame, but it has been very warm. They're okay. They're not thriving because the change in temperature is probably not very good, but hopefully the warmer weather's on its way, so they will do okay in the polytunnel. It's nice and warm in here. It's really cold outside today, but it's actually quite nice and warm in here and lovely. I've also just found out a really interesting fact. I just saw one of my other allotmenteers, and he said he's going to be using manure on his squashes and pumpkins and courgettes because apparently they don't mind not well rotted manure. They don't mind it at all, whereas root crops get damaged by manure which is not well rotted. And we've got some randomly delivered, which I mentioned in a previous video, randomly delivered over onto our plot by a mystery manure person. So that's good to know, so I can mulch them around with some manure hopefully, and they're very hungry plants too, so that will be good. So what shall I sow? A good old traditional cucumber crop called Marketmore. Had this for a couple of years. Beware, the seed quality does deteriorate after a few years. So windy. So these are actually quite small seeds. I'm going to still plant 1 in each pot, which means I won't have to pot them on for ages. How many do I want? I'm going to go for 3 and hope that at least one of them is good, because 1 giant cucumber plant is probably enough for a family. Depends how many cucumbers you eat and what you want to do with it. So I'm going to plant 3. Okay, so we've got 3 Market More cucumbers, and they are a traditional large cucumber. I just need to make sure that I label them. Okay, so they're done. Next, I love a gherkin. These are actually snack size. You can buy these in the supermarket and they're quite expensive. Gherkins are a little bit more crinkly. And I am gonna sow some of those as well because I'm gonna make my own pickled gherkins, which I've done before. These are the cute little snack size ones, which I'm gonna give a go from Sutton's. I just realised I only have 1 seed left. So 1 more snack size cucumber plant. Now I think I already have one of these plants at home, but I'm just going to do another one just to check. And you really do only need 1 courgette plant, trust me. But it's always good to have a backup because the slugs do like to eat them. But golden courgettes, if you've not heard of them, why not grow a yellow courgette? Because you can't buy them in the shops and green's boring. So if you're a home grower, you may as well grow something that you can't buy. Let's see how many I've got left. 1. Right, we may as well just use the last one. Okay, we have 1 more. Because I am obsessed with gherkins, pickled gherkins, in everything, in burgers and sandwiches. I'm going to grow 4 of these with the last remaining pots. Same tiny seeds, 1 in each pot. Whoops, I don't need that one. Just to mention as well, these are from Lidl. These are their 29p seed range. Can't remember how old these are, but maybe last year. But very, very reliable, very good seeds. And I just found these as well. Another cucumber, because why not? I love cucumber. Plus, how cool are these? Round cucumbers. Also from Lidl, gonna sow these. So it might seem crazy to even think about Halloween pumpkins, but now is when you have to sow them. And I am sowing pumpkin Big Macs, massive orange pumpkins, which are fantastic for carving and also eating. Let's not be wasteful. I've never managed to grow enough to have a pumpkin patch. I can't open this. But every year I do try, it's just started raining. I do try to have more than 1 pumpkin, but it never seems to work. But this year, right, there's only 5 in this pack, so I'm just going to sow them all. And exactly 5 pots. And 1 more squash celebration, which I don't know what this looks like because there's no picture on the packet, but I'll Google it and have a look. I do love squash. They are great for eating, great for roasting, great for storing. I'm going to sow 2 of these little seeds. And the last squash / cucumbers, etc. that I'm sowing are Turk's Turban. And these are a really funky looking squash. But I've never actually grown one to try. So, yeah, weird looking seeds. See those? Yeah. Turk's Turban, I'm going to grow 2 and leave 1 seed spare. So there I've got all of my cucumbers, courgettes, squash. I'll probably do some more. We will see how these go. I've just noticed I've got some flowers on my blueberries. So I need to make sure to leave the door open. Otherwise these will not get pollinated. So I think that's all I've got time for today. I will whiz back up here next week and hopefully I'll be able to do a couple of videos because kids back to school. Yay! No, you can all feel my pain. Next week, there might be some pond plants. We might be able to do the pond.